Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are jumping in to another week with Jocelyn and Brant. So let's go. Okay, this is the second time we come into their household, and they are wearing formal gear. Okay. And I'm not entirely sure why that happens, but I mean, it's interesting. And by they, I really mean her. Like, she's the one in formal gear. I'm not entirely sure what Brant is wearing, but she's in her formal attire. I mean, that's cool. Listen, everybody likes to wear a dress every now and again, but like me, whatever. So we are gonna put up these little like birth certificate style things that we have. They're actually like baby footprints of her children. So yeah, we're gonna actually send Brant off to work because he should have technically gone to work, but there we go. Yeah, so we did have a baby before we left last time. Um, so yeah, so now they've got Lila. And they also have what's happening here? Is he already done? Mm, yeah, okay, anyway. So they have, Lila, who is now a toddler, and they also have Ruben. He's a little baby, super sweet. He does live in the hallway, and it's purely for sleeping purposes, because you guys know that I can't be having the babies in the room with the adults. I mean, come on, they have to sleep. And toddlers already don't sleep through the night, so we put him in the hallway, and that's totally fine, okay? Now we are going to get Jocelyn to work out. She hasn't been able to work out for her job because she was pregnant, obviously, and so we decided to not work out, and by decided to, we were not able to. We did turn on the thermostat. It is quite hot. We are midsummer. Look at the temperature gauge over here. It's like blinking red, which means they're probably in the middle of a heat wave. And Lila is having a massive breakdown because she did not want another sibling. So, she just wanted to be her own self without Ruben. But here we are. So Brant is back from work and he is still missing all of these things for his career. And to be honest, guys, we were notified um the last episode that his days were coming to an end. And so do I really want to spend them making him miserable by working out? Maybe, maybe. Okay. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. At this point, I'm not entirely sure that he would ever complete this. Like, because he dislikes fitness so much, I'm not sure that it would ever help him really. So, yeah. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure about the like longevity of life. I think that actually comes from the aspiration, not the completion of the level 10 skill. So, I think that we're doing all of this and it's not really going to help him at all, even if he was to reach the top, right? So, I don't know. I think maybe we should just leave him enjoy the rest of his days without working out. I mean, I don't really know what else to do with him. We are it's so Jocelyn's having a birthday soon. We did just age up Ruben, so he's now an infant. Um, yeah, I mean, this point, I'm not overly stressed out about Brant. Like, we'll have him work out a couple times in case he goes back to work, but I have a feeling that we're not gonna we're not gonna see the end of that. But it's okay. It's totally fine. Jocelyn aged up, so she's now an adult. I mentioned this last time with Scott. Like, so Scott's got kids, obviously, and all of his children that he started off with, his 5 babies, okay? They're all, like, gonna be young adults and now teenagers. He did just have a baby with Kiori, but so, like, there's little Marin. She's a toddler now, but, all of the Sims that we initially started with are aging up, and it's I don't know, I'm sad, but I'm not. I am excited to see what the next generation is going to bring to Willow Creek, but at the same time, I'm kinda sad because it's unfortunate because your first generation of whatever you're playing, if you're not playing with cheats, their entire life is spent building their house, building a career, creating a safe environment for their children, setting up their legacy. And then as the generations age and, you're moving on to the next generation, that's when you start to enjoy, think. And I never really got to that part when I was like when I play on my own. I never get to that part because by the time I'm done creating the house and the kids are aging up and I'm moving out with the kids because in my mind, I don't wanna deal with the rest of the kids. I wanna start fresh. And so far, the only household that has an immense amount of children that I'm playing is Scott's family, but we created him for that reason. Single dad, you know, a full house of kids, doing it on his own, building a life for them. But again, you know, this first generation is not really enjoying their life. They are just building for their children, right? So, for example, Lila will not have to work as hard or Ruben because one of them is going to own this house, right? For the most part, I'm thinking. We're always going to try and keep one child in the original household of their parents to kind of take over and so that we don't lose that aspect, right? Because technically, both kids could move out and we can have a completely new family move in, right? But I feel like keeping it in the family is more interesting. There's like, um, what's the word I'm looking for here? There's like value there, like sentimental value to keep the house, right? Nobody ever wants to sell their parents' house. Except me, I did. I did. I was really excited for my mom to sell her house. We grew up in an it was a two-level home that was, over 100 years old. It had been obviously renovated, and it was home, but it was old, and it had been built like piece by piece and it was on top of a hill where we got an immense amount of wind and I was excited for her to get out of there and so, you know, it was good for her. So, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like most people don't want their parents to sell the home that they grew up in because it's their home, right? So, I think that we will play on that somewhat in this game. For example, Kaylee and Alana, I don't think Alana is gonna be the child to stay in that house because technically she didn't really grow up there. So, I feel like she'll move out, right? Wear bags? I don't wanna wear bags. Oh, Juice Community? What? Why do they keep calling and asking me to oh my god, Kaylee is calling to hit on Brant? Girl. So, for those of you who have been following but are not yet members or, are not members, period, um, we have had an immense amount of death lately. Okay. I I am floored. I don't know if it is the new update that was released that, brought on this whole like relationships are dwindling all the time, the calls for voting and stuff, and now an insane amount of death. Like obviously we are going to have death. I mean Brant is going to be old and he will expire from old age, right? However, member files, I'm going to call them. And basically what that means is they are also living in this city. And they're scattered throughout the neighborhoods, but they're for members only. And so, members get to follow them. And for those of you who do want to be members, there is a link down in the description that you can join. Just joining the bronze level is going to get you access to all the videos. Every other level is essentially just like an extreme amount of gratitude from me. Um, if you would like to show support to, some of your content creators, that is a great way to do it. But yeah, everything is going to get unlocked by the bronze level. There are 2 videos a week that come out, and it works the same way right now as the families that we're following here for everybody. It is a rotational gameplay of the same Willow Creek. Um, I'm sure you've seen them around and I've mentioned them before. But yeah, so we've actually had an immense amount of death in pretty well every single household. In every single household that we've had some death. And it's kind of sad because it's like random, you know? For example, Simone, enraged, expiration. Right. And then we had Neon Spectre. He was so of course now I have the autonomy on and shut off for the person that I'm currently clicked on, right? So for example, Jocelyn, I can control her for the most part. Um Anyway, so yeah, so when I'm with Kaylee and Alana, of course I mainly focus on Alana because the adults are adults, and they've lived their life and they're married and they've got other kids. And so I like to focus on Alana because she is the next to go to discover what she wants to do with her life. And so I focus on the kids usually so that they're gaining their skills and they're doing all that they have to do. Um, and he got hit by a meteorite. Okay. And then Haley was able to save him from, like she pleads to Grim, which by the way, he is a child of Grim, which, we discovered that a while ago, but still. Um, but yeah, anyway, and so, she saved him and then he got electrocuted by the dishwasher. So what was the point? Anyway, and then of course, today's video is Forrest and Colin with the members, and lo and behold, fixing a computer, electrocuted. I cannot begin to describe what is currently happening in my game, and I need to know, okay? Not just from members, I need to know from all of you, what is happening? Is anybody else having this problem where, like, death is upon us, essentially? Like, what is happening? I feel so lost. When I get in the game now, I feel like because, I don't really pay attention, right? For example, with, like, Forrest and Colin, he was fixing the computer, and then I was, like, moving around looking at other things, and then he stopped, and the computer still wasn't fixed, so I just clicked "Fix the computer." Anyway, when I looked back, he actually had the dazed feeling, so, like, I guess technically it's my fault, but still, I have done that, like, a ridiculous amount of times, and this has rarely ever happened, and so I am I'm at a loss for words, to be honest. Like, what is happening with this game right now? What update is making this game so unhinged? The relationships can't stay high. You've got, like, random people calling you about voting, and I have my voting turned off, okay? Because, to be honest, it drives me crazy a little bit. Unless obviously I'm playing, like, that kind of gameplay, unless I'm really focused on eco lifestyle, or whatever the case may be, I have it turned off, right? But I don't know. There's just a lot happening. It feels really unhinged. It feels like I can't control what's happening to my Sims. It's it's silly, I know, but well, anyway, we do know that Brant is coming to a close essentially. From natural causes, and so, like, that's okay, I'm okay with that, and I understand that random death happens, okay, it is a game. But, so far, every single member file, we have had someone expire lately, and I am devastated. It is throwing a wrench in the entire gameplay for them. And I mean, it's good, it keeps me on my toes, but, like, holy moly. Alright, so getting back to this gameplay, essentially we are just caring for the kids. It's Tuesday. Um, we did just go in. We're starting to work on the living room. I did complete the bathroom for the most part in the master bedroom. And the reason I did that is because now with two children, the toddler is soon going to be a child. So, with Lila running around and the 2 adults, because we don't really know when Brant is going to kick the bucket, essentially, it's always useful to have more than 1 bathroom if you can. So, that's why I completed that, and then we started working towards the living room because once they are children, it will be, "What is happening?" Ah, there we go. Okay. Alrighty then. Oh, look, start will. Well, that would have been useful to know earlier, I guess. Guys, Scott, in his gameplay, wanted to start a will, so we hired an inheritance lawyer, and they never showed up, and so it never really I don't know, nothing ever came of it. Then it was the end of the week, we couldn't hire another lawyer because it said, "You already hired one," except they just never showed up. Oh my god, this is so cute. This is so cute. Oh my goodness. 'Cause Ruben, didn't like being put down, and I thought, "You know what? How interesting would it be to send Grant on a jog with Ruben in the back carrier?" It's also, it's also useful to know if you can actually what you can do with the child in the back carrier, but it looks like essentially it looks like essentially everything. Now, I wish they would have had strollers. Oh, strollers, I wish, okay? Absolutely wish that there was strollers. Oh my goodness, he's sleeping in the back there. Oh, that's kinda sweet. Well, we're gonna put him down anyway. Or maybe we're gonna watch a movie with him in our back. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we are gonna get them to watch a movie, and Lila is gonna join them, and we are going to do a workout with Jocelyn because it was not enough, and she's obviously going to be going back to work. Now oh my goodness, this child is exhausted. Kristen, oh my goodness, look at his beard. He needs a trim. He needs a trim. It is not usually that long. Family recipe unlocked. Oh, he's, not feeling well. Alright, so it is getting late. We are going to send everyone to bed. I need you to put this child down, and I think it's because he's sleeping, but oh, excuse me? Oh, well, that's that then, isn't it? At least at least he put Ruben down on the floor and didn't topple over with the baby still on him. He's like, "Oh, no. Oh, no." Yes, I know, Grim. It smells like poo, doesn't it? Even Grim is like, "Goodness, change this kid's diaper." So we are gonna plead, and did not work. So Brant has passed away. So we are gonna be like a free roaming ghost. I talked about this in the apocalypse challenge, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I just thought about it and I didn't talk about it. But there is a what's the word I'm looking for? There is a restriction regarding urns and tombstones in the challenge, of course, and I forgot that there was a slight change to urns and tombstones in the game once Life and Death came out. So before, and maybe for some of you who don't have Life and Death, it still stays that way, but now with the Life and Death pack, when your sim passes, obviously there's now options for a funeral and, light the candle and leave offerings and whatever. there used to be an option that would allow you to release the spirit into the netherworld. And once that was complete, you could destroy the urn. And so that part, of course, is locked or was locked behind a career. Now, of course, when I went in and did some edits, I changed what careers locked what because obviously now we have a true life and death pack. And, I hid some things behind the true careers that came with that pack. However, it occurs to me that there is no option to destroy and release anymore. Or I should say release and then destroy. You can strengthen the spirit with like the current world, okay, like strengthen the spirit, for example, of Brant. And I think what that does is that it keeps their ghost around longer. But from what I can tell, I'm not even entirely sure. Like we still get pop-ups that say that their spirit is fading away. So I'm assuming free roaming ghosts eventually disappear like your Sims normally would. But are we supposed to keep these urns? Like, are they sellable? Can we only get rid of them in, build buy mode? Like, these are things that never occurred to me because, of course, I've always just been like in and out of my gameplay and never really staying for the long haul, right? So I don't really know now. And I'm wondering if I need to make an adjustment to my restrictions. And Gina, what are you doing here again? No, no, where is the go home option? Where is the go home? Why do you keep showing up with no option to send you away to a home you don't belong to? Okay? Like, you're so divorced, in fact, that you're both remarried and both about to be widows, okay? Because you both married older people. So, why are you still showing up at the house, okay? And talking to the kids that you didn't want? Tina, Tina, like, do I need to fight you? I don't want to have to fight you in front of the kids. I don't want them to think less of Jocelyn for wanting to fight you. Um, but like, is this a setting I need to adjust? Why are you here? Why are you going to lay in the bed? Where is the leave option? Please come back with the leave option. Why? I didn't even notice that she was there. See, this is my problem, right? I get so involved in my own little thoughts. I'm not paying attention to who's at the corner of my screen. Just like two ex-wives casually talking over the urn of an oh my goodness. There's too much going on for me here. Get out. Like, I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. Get out. My goodness, I love these tiles. These tiles come with the sleek bathroom kit. They are stunning. Okay, they are absolutely stunning. I mean, she's cleaning. I like that. Don't mind Stella in the background, you guys. She is like Wile E. Coyote lately. The whole road in front of my house, which is quite long, is actually getting repaved this year. And they are going at it full force. Okay. So they're, cleaning out the culverts, replacing the culverts. They're like chopping down trees that are too close to the road, and then they're going to be jackhammering, obviously, to remove the old pavement and place fresh new pavement. Um, and Stella has been absolutely beside herself and she's just not having it. She can't settle. So she's like beside me and then, she's getting down and she's getting back up because although they're not currently in front of my house today, they are not far from us. So every single noise disturbs her to her core. Even at night when she goes out, she's like looking for them, which is, kind of weird, kind of sketchy. But she did lose her mind last night when a shadow passed over a pylon. And I mean, I laughed. I did laugh because it was silly, but I understand that she is like petrified right now. She doesn't understand what's happening, which is kind of sad. But I am reassuring her. But yeah, she's definitely wild throughout the day. So, you know, prepare yourselves because I am still doing my voiceovers. Because you know what? Not everybody has a quiet house. Okay? Not everybody has a quiet house. Sometimes people live in houses that run like circuses, and that's me. Okay? I have an immense amount of animals in here. And yes, 90% of the time they're quiet because it's just me and them. But let me tell you, the minute my mom comes home from work, okay, because she lives here with me, it is the circus is on because it's almost like it's morning for them, you know? Like, when it's just me here with them, they're like, "Whatever, it's just her," right? But when my mom comes over or we have my niece over, it is like the race is on, okay? Now we are planning a funeral for Brant. I have not done this before, so we are going to do it together. Now, there are a few things here that don't make sense to me. The guests are not based on, Brant's friends, and so we're only inviting Jocelyn's friends, which some of them knew Brant, but not all of them. So it's kind of weird. Like, why are we not able to invite his friends? I did think it was really funny that you can hire some mourners, which is awesome. Now here I'm looking for um I'm looking for the world that life and death came with, okay, which is Ravenwood. But there's no funeral homes, and so I don't know, like, are we supposed to do this at the cemetery maybe? I'm doing it at a bar this time. Um, but yeah, so I don't know, maybe I need to build a funeral or download a funeral home from the gallery maybe, uh, and use that because I don't think this is what I want for everybody. Oh my god, look, it's his ghost. He's there. Oh my goodness. Interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. Can we romance with him? Oh, she's too sad to do that. Okay. Okay, well, that's kinda cool, I guess, that he shows up. I mean, it's, like, weird a little bit, but yeah, I'm glad that he's there. But yeah, back to what I was saying, I do think that maybe we need to create a funeral home. I don't even know if that's an option, to be honest. Like, funeral homes are a or, like, a funeral parlor, maybe? The lead funeral activities. So we did choose light candles, mourn, and give a lighthearted eulogy. Okay, here we go. Um, okay. So yeah, we could probably build better and suitable lot for funerals. Okay. I'm not entirely sure why there wasn't one that was like built for this, but I mean, listen, okay. It's too bad that you couldn't have a small business that was a funeral home because there's money to be made there, but to be honest, it's not costing us anything to do this, so that's not realistic. But yeah, okay, so we can call over the guests and then do all of these things. Oh, I do love this. So we do have some people here with us. We have Kristen with his extremely long beard, okay, which needs to be trimmed. We do have Kaori, and she is with Scott, who is also here looking very dapper in his suit. We have a weird ghost that I'm not entirely sure where she comes from. I did not invite a ghost to this funeral. We also have Kaylee who's there in her little pin skirt, her striped pin skirt and coat. Now, I think because their regular formal wear does not have the color that I requested, they got like NPC style clothing based on the color that I requested. So, I think that's why um I think that's why she looks like that, but that's okay. Okay, so we can click on other Sims too and have this like funeral option there to do some funeral things. I like this. It's almost Ruben's birthday, well, we'll get to that, okay? Now, as many of you know, Scott and Jocelyn are neighbors, but they're also, like, BFFs, low key, um, since, like, I don't know, pretty much day 1. Soon as she moved into the house, he came over and they became friends, like, on week 1 for them, so yeah. Listen, I'm, like, here for it. I'm enjoying that this is a possibility. I didn't hate the process. I did not like that I couldn't add his friends, but we are gonna go have a little private moment here by the lake. This is gorgeous, and we are gonna light a candle here in memory of Brant, um, and thank him for his service, for helping her leave Gina, for being her affair, for building a home with her and having her kids, even though he didn't really want any. Okay, so we are grateful for that. So yeah, I mean, and that's it. It's over. It didn't last an extremely long time. It lasted just long enough to do exactly what we were hoping to do. I'm sorry. Vlad, what are you doing behind the bar? Is this your way of finding victims? All right, so we are going to head home. I did quite enjoy that. I do wish, like I said, we would have been able to invite people that were his friends. So there's that. But I mean, other than that I think that was really well done. We do need a better setting for our funerals. So I guess we'll have to work on that separate. Oh my goodness, look at Ruben. He's so cute. All right, and now when we go in, there's only so many options. Okay. We can still plan another funeral, which is like weird, but I think one is enough. I do think that one funeral is enough for Sim. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you guys like funeral all the time. But for me personally, one is enough. So here we're going in, we're getting rid of the crib, and she will not be having any more children. So we are going to get rid of everything that they don't need. Now, look at these 2 candles. So we lit 2 candles for Brant, and they ended up in our family inventory. So we are going to place them on our shelving unit here that we have. I'm trying to find something to like line the top, but I don't think this is working for me. So we're just going to get rid of those and keep that. Um yeah. Oh, I'm glad we did that. Now I'm going in with my favorite mod, which is Tool to reshape size, change the size of the rug, you guys. That is exactly what I use the tool mod for 99.9% of the time. Strictly for the rugs. That way I can always have a rug the size that I want it. Right, so the kids are basically on their own, and Jocelyn is working out because she does work tomorrow, which is Friday. I'm sorry, is Lila gaining fitness skill as well? Watching her? What? That is interesting that that would happen. Okay. Oh, look at that. Aspiration achieved. Congratulations, Jocelyn. I love it. Good job, girl. Now, I would love to see her reach the top of her career. And I mean, she's doing pretty well considering she's had a divorce, she's had 2 kids, she's built a house, she's now a widow. Let fate decide. Okay, so she did embrace the change. So that means that she did go from neutral to not wanting any children, and that is perfectly fine. And she's off to work. So we are going to send the kids to daycare. Guys, this house is finally coming together really well. Oh, it's Lila's birthday. Oh, I do love that. Okay. I'm going to hug every cat. All right. So she is having a midlife crisis and she has a desire to create. So she has all these creative things in her midlife crisis list here. Um, I am changing her aspiration. No, I don't think so because I think we're planning to have Tristan um, be eventually romantically involved with one of Scott's children. So we are not going to have him go on a date with somebody else. Um, so we did change our aspiration because the other one was over, and we are making it more of a like super parent style aspiration now that it is just her and her kids. And we are going to go in and use her points. So we did get seldom sleepy and steel bladder for what she got. I think that will help her in the long run, especially since she is a single working mom now with 2 kids. Something else I've been thinking about is building a building, like, a retirement home for the Sims, like, as they age up into elders and retire. I think that we could shove them into a retirement home. Maybe not everybody, but, like, some of them, we could put them in a retirement home and having them, like, live together. I think that would be so much fun. Right, here we go. Lila is becoming a child, and yes, Jocelyn is still in her astronaut getup, but you know what? It's fine. Let's follow Lila outside because apparently there's not enough room in the kitchen for her to do a little spin. Oh my goodness. One more time. All right, she's outgoing, so we are going to choose the social aspiration for her. She is still sad. Yes, I know, but it's not because of what you're thinking. It's because she has low fun. So So we're gonna try and see if she's gonna do her homework so that she can go to school on Monday prepared. Do want the best for the next generation that is being built here. Now, obviously, we're like midway through a generation right now with Scott's kids and Melody and Alana are now teenagers and they are getting ready to jump on the young adulthood journey. You guys, I don't know if I'm prepared to like move to the next generation. I don't know. It's time. I do know it's time. Oh, she's passed out. She's passed out. Okay, well, honey, just like go use the washroom or like watch TV or something, help with your fun, get your brother out of that bed. And we are going to go back into build mode and we are going to swap this around and add a top bunk for her. And if it's your first time here, I use a top bunk for one simple reason, and it is simply to avoid the monster under the bed. It is 100% the reason that we use the top bunk. Yes, I know I could put the nightlight. Okay, I know I could do that. But, I'm not. So I'm not. So there we go. Now we do have some extra money, and I wanna go in and add some couches to the living room. This house is almost furnished, which means that we can start, like those blues don't match up as much as I want them to in the shelving. I mean, it's close, don't get me wrong. It's super close, but not exactly right. Wouldn't a color wheel be nice for that? I will never give up on the color wheel, especially now that we have it for tattoos. Why don't we have it for everything else, right? Why stepsister? You guys literally have the same parents. This also something else that's happening recently, like, I noticed it in the apocalypse challenge. So, we had twins, okay? Not just siblings, we had twins. And it says sister/stepsister. Like, no, I don't think that you could be more sisters than twins. Like, I don't think that like natural twins. That is not your stepsister. That is like the other half of your being, essentially. Okay? So, yeah, I don't know. That's happening quite a bit lately, the stepsister thing. There was also there was also something else that happened with Kaylee and Alana. So, when Kaylee got married to Mr. Spector, he ended up adopting Alana as his own. but I don't know, it kinda glitched out, and then it started saying that Haley was her adoptive mom and not just her mom because he had adopted her. It was really weird. So and that could also be a part of RPO, that little bit there, but this stepsister thing, like, this is basics. Okay. And I am looking around to see if we have some people because part of Lila's aspiration is to meet new people, and so I do wanna try and complete this. So while we're waiting for people to show up, we are gonna have her cloud gaze. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have my Sims in the Apocalypse Challenge cloud gaze. Oh, it's giving her confidence. Well, that's good. Alright, so let's get some homework done. Congratulations on your recent birthday from Gina Ryan. Gina does not give up. She simply does not give up. Like, the woman who did not want children, who didn't even want her wife to be a surrogate so that they could make money and pay the bills at this point, right? Like, bare minimum, you know, um, would just not have anything, like, couldn't do it, is now wishing her ex-wife's child a happy birthday. I mean, it doesn't get more interesting than that. I mean, listen, I can't tell if it's petty or not. So we are going to have her say hello to everyone. So these are wait, I think that's the person that Tristan asked if he should go on a date with. So Tristan lives across from Jocelyn and Brant. Well, I guess just Jocelyn now. Um, yeah, he lives across from them where Ophelia Villa was, but we tore that down. Okay. Oh, look, it's Patrick. Hello, Patrick. Patrick just lost his wife, and so if there's anybody that understands what Jocelyn's going through right now, it is definitely Patrick to some level. I mean, for him, obviously, it was a surprise. It wasn't natural causes here, okay? But he's also lost his wife. So we will say hello to him, talk about the hot temperature. Ooh, awful compatibility. Well, okay. Let's not cause any trouble here. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Awful compatibility. Like, good and bad, and amazing I've seen before, but awful, that's new. Awful is new. Right, so now we're going to try to achieve level 5 social skill. I mean, this is gonna be a pretty basic household. We are going to have, the matriarch just, raise her kids. She's gonna work towards her career, build a nice little spot for them. No, and that's about it. This is gonna be pretty simple. I do think that I wanna try and follow one of my Sims to school one day. You guys, I bought High School Pack when it came out because I was so excited about everything to do with it. And then I never went to school with my Sims once. I don't even I don't even think I've actually played in Copperdale. I've never ridden the, Ferris wheel. We never did like anything like that. And so I think that maybe maybe we should try going to school with one of our Sims just to see what it's all about. So maybe we can go with Lila. Since there's only 3 people in this household, I'm not, like, extremely stressed about it, and Jocelyn is so far in her career that I'm not worried about, like, losing time with Jocelyn. But yeah, guys, that's it. We're at the end of the week. What a little busy week that we've had. Until next time. See ya.